I'm not even sharing. I'm like skipping like 8 steps. It's been a long work day. I was pretty much on the phones all day today, so.
Yeah, we had our all hands meeting this morning. First one in like a year.
Nice.
So yeah, you know how all hands meetings go to start with, and
Yeah.
then you put in the fact that we hadn't had one in a year.
Yeah, and then now it's like just several hours of just people talking about crap that no one really cares about. Unless you get
Yeah.
some good news. Sometimes it's stuff that's like, oh, we're adding an extra day of PTO.
No, we didn't get anything like that.
Mm.
We did get the we've lifted the mask mandate at work, so you don't have to wear that anymore. So
God,
I
you
guess
guys
that,
still had a mask mandate?
yeah.
Wow. That's insane. We lifted ours, and we've been very conservative through this whole entire process. So.
Yeah. Well, they lifted ours briefly, and then it spiked. The problem is
Ah.
we're in not only an office setting, which is fine without the mask,
Mm-hmm.
but our factory's in the same building. And factory, you can't social distance in the factory.
No. Sure.
So, and so they just make everybody go by the same.
Roll. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Alright. Not many games this week, which I guess like is a blessing in disguise, just for the amount of games that are still left to play.
Yeah.
Um, this one looks cool. I've never heard of Crusader Kings. I've heard of. I've never played of. WRC 10. I've never heard of. It's a racing game, obviously, right? I
Yeah,
certainly
for
hope so. For the
the
Switch,
Switch. Switch does not strike me as the racing
racing,
sim console.
unless you're a kart racer.
Yeah.
I agree. And this game looks really cool, but it's an iOS game. Oh, it is coming eventually. No, it already released on
Yeah, last
PlayStation,
year.
and now it's coming to iOS, Android. Never yield. Interesting. Death Stranding Director Scott, which is just a fancy way of saying, "Hey, we made it for PlayStation 5."
Oh, PC. That's PC though.
Oh, ah, that's weird. Why come out with it? It seems a little early to come up with a director's cut for Death Stranding. Then,
Yeah.
maybe they're just calling that. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's September.
Yeah.
So this
It
is
came
just
out.
a PC port of.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm caught up. As you can tell, I didn't play Death Stranding at all.
I did not either.
I like
Seems
Hideo
weird to
Kojima, but yeah, and anything with Kojima is just hashtag weird.
me.
But yeah, I don't know. You can miss me with the courier delivery service. I'm sorry if people are fans of the game. Um, Weird West, and then whatever this is, I don't know. Weird West. Cool. Yeah, nothing really for us this week, which is fine. But there is some big news for us this week. I don't know if you saw the email and then everything else.
I did.
Yeah, they've announced it. The Spartacus coming to fruition in the tiered models. So for people who have PlayStation Plus, nothing's changing for us. It's still the same $10 monthly. It's the same exact service. Um, However, for PlayStation Plus Extra, which is kind of just the combined PlayStation Now bundles to some degree, it's $15 a month, and you get up to a catalog of up to 400 PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. And then Premium throws in PS3, some classic PS2 and PSP games as well for only $18 a month. So for $5 or $8 extra than what you're playing, you also get the quote unquote Now service. So I didn't play for Now. Is this just a better deal overall?
Yeah. So now is I want to say it's I can't remember the exact price. It's either the same price as PS Plus, so it would be $20 a month total,
Hmm.
or it may be a little more. Um, I
Gotcha.
honestly can't remember. So yeah, it is going to be a price reduction. There are some things that I did notice in here that were kind of worth pointing out. So if you look at the basic subscription model, um, it does specifically say 2 monthly free games instead of the 3 that they're doing right now.
Oh.
So I'm curious if they're going to move to one PS5 and one PS4 game.
Yeah, yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah. So that was one thing I noticed.
Yeah, the other one was the list of games when they launch.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah, I know God of War is already available for
yeah,
anybody that has a PS5.
yeah.
But yeah, the Spider-Man games, I don't know if they're on the PS Now library yet. So that may be an ad. I think Mortal Kombat 11 has been
It's been.
offered for, yeah. The Returnal was the one that I caught.
Yeah.
Because I had actually considered at some point picking that up, but knowing now that it's going to be free at
Yep. No longer
when this
gonna do
launches,
that.
yeah, I'll just wait that out.
Yeah, and we can finally play Death Stranding.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, the big thing which a lot of people may have overlooked is in the top tier. The very last thing, the time limited game trials. I'm very curious how they do that. Is that going to be like every game? Am I
Oh,
just
that's
going to be
true.
able to download any game and play it for an hour
Yeah, holy
before buying
shit.
it?
You're right. Yeah, that's huge. Cause yeah,
Uh,
that would be awesome. It would be a lot more like I'm on the fence for this game. You know, try it for however, and then unlock it for an hour, and then be like, all right, I liked it or I didn't.
yeah, because I don't know how many times we've done this podcast and looked at games and been like, that's interesting, but I'm not going to get it. But
Yeah,
if they had the time thing where I could just download any game and get a free run at it,
yeah, why not? Just do it, and
yeah.
then be like, oh, all right, well, this is worth $60 or however much, or it's not. Yeah,
Yeah, like specifically, we were just talking about Returnal. That is one that I would have done that with
yeah,
had it been available.
yeah. No, this is pretty huge. They haven't released exactly the whole game. I imagine it's just kind of porting over all the PlayStation Now, and then maybe adding Returnal on a couple big ones. But
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people are quick to point out the absence of any day one
oh, of
ads.
course, you're gonna have people that
But
are comparing it to the Xbox Game Pass, like
yeah, but I mean, this also doesn't say that they're not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just having that, and it's good marketing to under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, and I mean,
Um,
this is basically what we expected
yep,
when they announced it, and so they're not like shorting us here, I don't think. And
nope,
we've already seen last month that they added a game on PlayStation Now on day one, so they've already started that
yep.
precedence.
Yeah, I mean, just because you don't get these day one exclusives, that and like, I would argue like, oh, there's a lot of these day one exclusive. Well, I want to take a look at some of them again. Day one
Yeah,
exclusives for Xbox that honestly, in hindsight, we may have been excited or this looks really cool, and then just now it's like these games all suck. Like, sorry,
yeah.
no one's playing Halo Infinite anymore. Like,
Yeah, I actually saw that like this morning. Somebody was talking about the fact that Xbox has day one exclusives, and somebody's response is like, "Yeah, but no one wants to play any of them." It's like even the game, they even added Halo Infinite, which was the whole thing about offering day one, is the target audience, and still no one plays it.
yeah,
It's like,
like, yep. So even taking a look at this Game Pass from 2021, like a Dragon is now. I don't get me wrong, I have this game. You know, this is probably, but I will be the first one to tell you it's a niche market. Like the only people excited about it are me, and like that small people. We like Dark Alliance, sure, but it being a day one exclusive is not like this huge deal. Hades we also got for free.
yeah,
uh, no, we didn't. We had to pay
no,
for it.
not Halo. Yeah, I think it's. Is it on
Hades is
PlayStation now? Is that?
come. Maybe either way. Like it was, this is probably the best game on there, and Back for Blood was fun, but no one's playing it anymore. Maybe Left
Yeah.
4 Dead speedrunners and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to knock the community, but like, sure, you have all these day one exclusives, and how many do you load up right now?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah. It's almost like their day one exclusive list are. Here, you're gonna play this on day one, and you're gonna play it for a week, and then.
then you're gonna be like, all right, and then you're gonna move on to something else.
Which, as we talked about, the free trial part of
Yeah, yeah, that's huge.
PlayStation's May.
No, I think if that is how they're gonna do stuff, they're gonna make a lot more money.
Yeah. And if you actually are part or have been part of the PlayStation family for a long time, they used to do that. Uh, it wasn't with every game, but you used to have a large library of games you had timed trials on.
Hmm. Yeah, I would like that. I think you're right. I was just excited because $8 extra a month was definitely in the budget for me. It's whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was excited to kind of join that PlayStation. Now, not that I have a lack of games to play.
You just got 700 more.
I know, right? I have platted Bloodborne though, so there's that.
Nice. And I think since the last time we had this, I platted
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring.
Yeah. You thought about Code Vein.
Yeah, and gave up on that.
I don't blame you, dude. I'm
Yeah,
down to plat
that just
any
kills
game,
me.
but like anything that is like, all right, this is a 9 hour grind for one thing, and that your 9 hour grind required somebody else to also do it with you in co-op. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, dude, I'm down, but like, there's a lot other games that I'd rather be playing right now.
For real. I actually ended up going on and picking up Tiny Tina's and been playing that all weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I am thoroughly enjoying the story and whatnot
Cool.
and the gameplay. I will say I would not recommend this game as a co-op game at the moment.
Yeah, know they had some server
Yeah,
issues.
well, the server issues are still going on, and they're actually
Wow.
so bad that they ruin single player play.
Wow, holy shit.
Because the game has persistent connection
Yeah.
to the servers, even if you're playing by yourself. And because the servers are so bad, you lose connection to the server, and then it tries to connect to the server just over and over.
Yeah.
And that causes lag spikes in the game. Like your frame rate can literally bottom out in the middle of the game.
Dude, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, so you may have noticed that you haven't seen me online all weekend because I turned the internet connection off on my PlayStation so it's not trying to connect to that server.
That's the smartest shit to do. That's the
And
smartest way to do it.
yeah, and it runs flawlessly that way. And I mean,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
because it's not trying to.
yeah,
It's not trying to do anything with network connection.
but yeah, I have been super enjoying it, and I
Good.
mean, I would definitely be down if other people picked it up to play it when servers do get figured out. But
Yeah, yeah. Probably tag my ear when they do. We've just April's rolling around and we just increased our budget, so I'll be able to actually pick up more games. So I
yeah, I
don't
will
want
say
to do that.
they did change a ton of stuff from the TLC thing. The classes are all new, and they're all like
Yeah,
fantasy based.
I saw one. I saw Lupo playing for a little bit, like a Graveborn class or something like that. This was
Yeah,
before the day one release though, so they didn't really have any issues.
yeah. The Graveborn was kind of a or is kind of a necromancer type class. You can sacrifice your health to do bonus damage.
Yeah,
But as you level it up, you can get perks and stuff that on kills you gain health and stuff like that.
yeah. It
Um,
looked pretty cool.
they have a class that you would probably play as Stabomancer.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And it's basically the rogue class. It built or like goes on, or you could stealth with it, or so you get one action ability, and each class has 2, so you have to pick one of the 2.
Yeah.
And so one of them is stealth, and the other one is you can call in a spectral blade that spins, and so it just like spins and hits things that's in its radius, but you can move it while it's active.
Oh, that's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, I actually played that briefly because I wanted to do melee, but
Yeah.
melee felt underwhelming, and
Yes.
it was probably because it was at the start of the game. I imagine once you get a build going, melee could probably be good, but
Yeah.
um, I found myself like in playing the spells more with it, and it's like, let's re-roll. I'm only like an hour in, and so I re-rolled into a spell shot, which their abilities are their first one can turn enemies into sheep,
Nice.
and their other one lets you equip 2 spells instead of 1.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And spells are basically how they redid grenades in this one. So you know how like in the
Yeah.
first one I was built around my grenade.
Fireball fucking grenade
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, I ended up picking up that and running the 2 spells, and so now I've got 2 spells equipped, and it's really odd that dexterity is your main stat for this class
Yeah.
because you want crits. The way I have it built,
Yeah.
because when you do critical damage with your spell, it then makes your gun do damage, bonus damage of the type of the spell that you just cast. So if I
Oh,
cast a fire spell and hit a critical
it's
with it, now
fire.
my gun does an extra 15% fire damage.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. That's pretty cool.
And then you stack critical because your last like power up makes it where when you get a critical with your gun, it has a 15% chance of canceling the cooldowns on your spells.
Holy crap.
And so my critical is like at 80% right now.
Oh
So
wow, that is insane. That and you get a fast
yeah,
shooting. Yep,
submachine gun, yep.
yep.
And
Oh my
just like,
god.
and
Brr.
I got to the point that I could multi-class, and so I multi-classed into the Graveborn, which gives you a companion who also casts a spell every time you cast a spell. So, I'm just spell slinging.
So did you figure this shit out by yourself, or?
Yes, I
Oh
have
my
not looked up a
god.
build for this.
I
This
need
is
to
all
see if a
stuff.
build already exists, and if not, dog, we need to make a YouTube video.
And it's funny when you multi-class, it changes the name of the class, because I was spell shot, and then
Yeah,
I multi-classed into the Graveborn, and so it changed it to dead shot. That's the name of my class now.
dead shot.
Yeah.
So we have the best build in insane damage guide spell shot plus, and we'll never know. I don't want to listen to your video, dude. Nick too, though. For anybody who wants to follow him.
They went spell shot Stabbermancer. It may be kind of the similar thing where they're looking to stack crit. For me, stacking crit was fine, but I wanted to stack spell cooldown more than crit. Even though my crit's already super high, so
80%, yeah, you're really not gonna get too much more than that. So this is... I really don't like the way that this person formatted their video. Spell shot build. I need to... allow. Sure. Spell shot weapon. SMGs. A melee weapon.
yeah. So the ward for the spell shot is you want to go with whatever the biggest capacity is. You don't care about recharge rate because the way it's spec'd is it has an ability called Mage Armor that every time you cast a spell, it replenishes your ward. But the next ability is called Glass Cannon, which means that your ward won't replenish automatically.
Nice.
So you don't need a recharge delay or recharge rate on the shield because it's never going to use it.
Nice.
So you just want the max capacity.
Furious Concerted Magic Barrage.
Dang. The spell damage on that is crazy. I'm nowhere near that high of level.
Yeah, I mean, level 40, 449.
Yeah, my spell damage is like 300, and that's 4,300.
Jesus. But it sounds like you still have a very good solid build, though.
Yeah.
No, well, that's cool, though. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, this one's for Stabomancer too, so... Yeah, that might be the
The
min-max.
max, yeah, the
Yeah.
min-max build.
But yeah, mine's a ton of fun. It has the little companion that can shoot stuff with you and everything, so...
Yeah, no, I think based, even what I'm seeing here, even though stat based, I like that build. Be interested to see what it looks like in endgame.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Got another game.
Yep. And some of the stuff in it is just hilarious.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like yesterday, I found a Don Quixote character, and instead of jousting windmills, he's fighting clock towers and calling them Cyclops.
Ah, nice.
So they do very obvious, like cultural references, but then change them.
Yep.
Because there's also a Smurf village, and they call them the Murphs. But they're not Smurfs, they're goblins.
Oh, nice. Are they at least blue?
Kinda. So the regular village of Murphs are not blue, they're green. They're just regular goblins. But there's a disease that's
So
attacking them and turns them blue. So the blue ones are actually the bad ones, because they call it the blue rage.
Oh my god. Of course. This game's gotta be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Because the funniest thing, period, was just the Don Quixote thing, where after you help him save the princess, who is unsurprisingly a broom. And then he goes off to spend his life with a broom by jumping off a cliff.
Wow.
And my character, and this is another thing, is I want to know if all the characters respond the same way, or if they have different responses based on the voice you choose.
Yeah.
Because mine is super like sassy or whatever. And I like, so after he jumps off, my character is just like, I hope he's okay, but in hindsight, he's probably not. And then just walks off. It's like,
That's the best response to that.
I just like died when that happened.
But he's probably not. Oh, that's great.
There is one other incident that only Borderlands would do, but it's very spoilery.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to tell you.
No, yeah, you gotta save it. Oh man, that's great. So, all right. Well, let me pick your brain about something that you probably have zero interest in. But I need to like soundboard this out. I want day one copies of and early copies of games, right? So we need to get this podcast or YouTube channel or something to more people. What's the best way, do you think, to, because this market's so oversaturated, what's the best way to actually garner a viewership? Like guide videos, you see that a lot. Some of it is like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of missed it a little bit a while back. Back when we were really big into Storybook Brawl and talking about that every week, we probably could have like marketed the podcast on the Storybook Brawl Discord.
Yeah.
Been like, hey, we do this every week. be cool if you guys stopped by and listen and get our thoughts on it. Or
Yeah, no, that would have been smart, especially since when we were bigger into it, it made sense, right? Like there's usually at least one section for Storybook Brawl, right?
yeah.
I,
So yeah, it may be something like that. We just find
so
I don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
we might just have to find our niche or
yeah.
whatever.
No, you're right. It might be as simple as that, and like the other thing that was really weird is I was looking at possible like I've been enjoying Stranger of Paradise. We're not at end game yet, but then I was like, does a builder exist, right? And there's absolutely no builder for this game. You know how a lot of times with games with stats, there'll be like somebody who's like, oh yeah, you want to try out what a build looks like with all the abilities plus affinity, and you can click like for MMOs, right? I know you've
Yeah,
seen, like builder, right? And off.
yeah. I think.
And then bam, like, yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
this is probably not the very good one. Man,
I
this
think
one even has like Disciples of the Hand.
Yeah, I think Diablo 3 is a really good
Yeah,
one to.
best in slot and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not even one for like that game. And then I was like, man, like, how do you that and Stranger of Paradise seems like one of those games that I'll enjoy, but I'm not gonna sit here and play that for a year, right? Even if that garnered a viewership, right? Like,
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to
I don't think
because I
so
mean,
either. Elden
I
Ring is just
I
gonna
looked the other
overshadow it.
day. Yeah, I looked the other day and the Reddit for Stranger of Paradise has like 800 people in it. It's like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just don't like Elden Ring's huge, but like it's so huge that you have to do something substantial in that game that
Yeah,
somehow
you've got to
no one is doing.
or do what everyone's doing, but do it better.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm decent, but I'm not better.
Yeah, you've got to like I think the big things being watched right now are speed runs. So
Yeah, and
can you beat the game in 23 minutes? It took me 80 hours, so you know.
can you beat the game in 20 minutes? I
Uh,
I will say I don't really get enjoyment out of speedrunning. Like it's not something I I don't know. It's not something that I enjoy. No hitting and stuff like that would be more my speed, but I still don't. I'm not. I don't want to sink enough that much time into something. Is the other
yeah,
problem.
yeah, because it's not just running it to start with,
Yeah.
because you got to plan the route out and like
Yep.
some of these guys that I've been watching do it literally are taking 2 to 3 weeks on stream of planning their route for these no hits. Like,
That is fucking crazy.
I don't have time for that. I work a real job.
Yeah.
It's like,
I want to play video games in my off hours.
because yeah, like we've looked at Hobbs stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
The God Run guy.
Yeah.
He's literally yesterday was his first actual attempt at a no hit run.
Holy crap. So, does that mean the first thing he did was kind of just play the game, get a feel
Yeah.
for it, explore shit, enjoy it?
Well, not exactly. They still didn't beat everything in the game. Like these no hit guys.
Mm.
They beat the game, did what they had to do to beat the game, and then find out, all right, and then they start cutting it. It's like, what's the minimum I have to do to beat the game?
Yeah.
So like Melania, who's like the hardest boss in the game, he's still not fought her. Like even been to her boss room yet.
Damn.
uh, because she's an optional boss and it's not needed for the game. So even on his like regular playthrough, he didn't fight her.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Hey, I guess it
But
makes sense.
yeah, but
Why?
I've also heard him say like on his streams that he doesn't get enjoyment out of casual playthroughs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so if like doing the no hit thing is what you enjoy, go for it.
And I will say I never really understood it. All right, like I feel like once I plat a game, I'm like, sweet, I'm done. Like I can shelf it, right? But I will say when I got Bloodborne, I got it today. When I got the plat, I was fine, and I loaded up the new game plus. I moved around a little bit. I killed some extra stuff, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
You know,
I did
like
this.
I get it.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Elden Ring because I had to do the new game plus to get the plat because I had to go pick up that sword,
Yep.
and I was just murdering stuff because I was still
Yeah.
overpowered,
Same.
and I was like, you know what? It's like I could play through this again. It's like,
Yeah. It's like I do I understand it now. Like I never really did. Like, but now I do. I get like
yeah, yeah. I've always looked at new game pluses as more of a hey, if I ever come back and want to play this game again, I can
yeah
do it and not have to go and unlock everything,
yeah
which never happens.
yep. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've ever loaded up a new game plus that wasn't related to a trophy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Um,
think I ever have.
yeah, probably not. To be honest with you, I can't remember a time. Maybe, but yeah. But I will say, like, if I was going to no life a game, like I could definitely see it being a game like that. Um, Even games like Hades and stuff like that's really cool. Like, uh, but even then, when I played Hades, I was like, oh, this is a really good game, probably one of my favorite. And then I was like, shelf.
Yeah. I didn't
um,
plat it, but I finished the like 10 runs you needed to complete the story, and that was enough
yeah,
for me.
yep, shelf. It's like, and it's still a good game. Um, but yeah, the only thing that's actually stopping me from like playing more Bloodborne and doing more stuff in it is besides the fact that I have 10 other things, is this is one of the only games where you can't respec.
Really?
Yeah, a respec requires you to literally make a new character unless you want to spend 100,000 fucking souls to level up your arcane from 9 to something reasonable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is
I
odd.
looked it up because I got to the point where I was like, I like my strength build a lot. I like these swords, but I kind of want to start messing with, like, I got the feel for the game. I want to mess with other shit. So I literally looked it up, and I was just like, and I checked like 3 or 4 different sources, and they're like, no, you can't.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
Yeah, Souls 3, which what was it? Souls 2 that came out before Bloodborne, you could,
Hmm.
but because it was a different director and different people, you could not.
Oh, that is very odd.
Yep.
Because you think, especially with New Game Plus, it's like,
Yep.
because even with Elden Ring, when I went to New Game Plus, I changed just even just to go pick up a weapon. It's like I want to do something different. It's
Yep.
like I've got to beat like 5 bosses to get that weapon, so uh, yeah. And there's no way I could play a New Game Plus like of one of those games with the same exact thing I just beat the regular game with.
Yep, and that's exactly why I probably didn't play even more of it, right? I was just like, I already did the thing, and it was fun, but I'm not going to make a new character and start from scratch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I'm excited though. Obviously, now with this game down, I have a couple of choices. I can either finish off Yakuza 6, go to Neo.
Yeah.
I mean, depending if the fucking Tina Wonderlands ever get their shit together, we got that. We can finish our Final Fantasy game, which I definitely at least want to plat because it won't be hard. We're almost there. I feel like once we beat the story.
Yeah. And if you are interested in Code Vein,
Yeah.
it is on sale right now for
Oh, did it?
$20.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
And I think that's the complete edition. That comes with the DLC and everything.
Yeah, we could do that. And we could spend 9 hours.
Or at least it was on sale this weekend when I was, because I noticed there was a sale going on. So I was like, what's on sale? And it's like,
Code Vein PlayStation Store. I know I saw the thing for the spring sale was up. So.
It's the regular edition, I think, which I don't. Yeah, there it is. Code Vein Deluxe Edition, $20. Normally
The regular oh wait a minute, $60. Deluxe edition, $20. Oh no, it ends right before my new month starts for my budget. It's alright. I can buy a little early. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, because I'm down to play it, especially if it's... Is it more co-op friendly than Bloodborne, or is it the same?
Probably the same, though it's one of those where... Like, I think you have to progress through on both sides, but we wouldn't need to do that on my side.
Yeah, you've already done it.
Well, I did start a New Game Plus, but I'm super overpowered and can just run through it in a matter of, like, 10 minutes. But yeah, what it would do is if we did play a co-op, we'd want to do it on your side anyway.
Okay.
Because it would bring me in and scale me down to your level instead of
the other way around, where I'd be like, why?
Well, you come into mine and there's nothing for you to do because I'm just literally running through and one-hitting everything.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm like a level 150 or something like that.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But yeah, there's so many options nowadays. It's insane.
Yep. Also, I don't know if you saw, there was the leak for the PlayStation Plus free games for next month.
I did. It was funny, and this is actually my other idea, because as you know, I like platining games. Before I saw this announcement, was, oh, maybe I'll take, like, a game that's really good here, right? And then just do, like, a plat run guide for games that are, until I can get, early copies, right? A good idea would be, like, hey, these games will be free, so people with PlayStation Plus will have access to them. Maybe I'll do, like, a trophy run guide on that one, like, and, do more of a video thing along with the normal guides. And then I saw a Bikini Bottom, and I was just like, never mind.
But Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire's on there, though, yeah. I did see that. Hood, which looks interesting, but that's a multiplayer game, right?
Yeah, it's a multiplayer.
PvEVP.
Yeah. I've seen a little about it, but that's about it. It didn't really strike me as a need to play.
I mean, it'll be free, but I'm sure I mean, if the group plays it, it'll play it once, and then that'll be it. It's SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I think it's a platformer.
It is. It's a remaster of a classic platforming game. What the fuck? Maybe I talked shit about SpongeBob too early. Either way, though, if I were to do that, I'd definitely start with Slay. I've never looked at the trophy guide for it. Oh,
you probably gotta get Ascension 20, and I'm just like...
God.
I can't even
Yes,
get
one
2.
run must be completed on the hardest Ascension.
Yeah, it's like, I can't even get to Ascension 2 on Slay the Spire right now, so 20's not happening.
So walkthrough number 1, beat the game with each character and achieve a level 5 with each character.
Does that include the new?
Yeah, I mean, Ruby. Where's the monk class? I forget.
I literally have not even played it since it came out.
I forgot the name of the Slay the Spire heroes. Like, there were only 4 last time I checked, so yeah, there's still only 4.
Watch.
Watcher's the monk. Yeah. So all those level 5, then you have to beat the heart with each character. This will be your first difficulty spike. You need to collect 3 keys over 3 acts. I don't even know what the fuck. You could beat the heart?
I don't know.
Yeah, I only got to the heart ever and then been like, oh, this is a successful run, and then that would be it, right? Like, you know, your guy passes out afterwards. I thought that was the whole shtick. Apparently not. You can collect 3 keys over the 3 acts. The emerald key being acquired by beating a burning elite. A ruby key can be chosen at rest sites, and a sapphire key can be chosen in one of the guaranteed treasure rooms.
I think this is something that was added.
Yeah, I hope so. Once you beat Act 3, you'll be taken to Act 4, which features 1 shop, 1 rest site, a mini boss, and then the heart. Although you have to beat the heart with each character, it can be done at Ascension 0. And then beat Ascension 20 with any character. Wow. I found the Ironclad to be the easiest.
Everybody says that, and that's the only one that I cannot even beat Ascension 1 with.
I like the poison build.
Yeah,
that's
the one I've done the best with. I think I'm Ascension 3 or something with it. But
yeah. Trophy cleanup.
But that relies heavily on you actually getting the poison cards. True. You know, it's got the shank build or whatever too, and
yeah,
I try to do poison and get nothing but shank cards. Or
damn
shiv
it.
cards.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool it's coming to PlayStation Plus, I guess, but I mean, if I'm playing Slay the Spire, I'm still probably playing it on the Switch.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, I've got it for Steam too, so like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about I've never like felt the need to sit down in my recliner in front of my TV and play a card game.
Yeah. Like, no, that's a fair assessment, especially when you have one on mobile.
Yeah.
It's also on iPad. That's what I see Brittany playing it on a lot, so I get it.
Yeah. Is it on Android?
It's on iOS. I don't know. Slay the Spire.
Yeah, it is. $10.
Yeah. Yep, Google Play and the App Store. Man, 4.1 only on the App Store. Critics are hard.
Mine says 4.5.
Yeah, that's for the Google Play.
Oh, okay.
4.1, no.
Oh, Apple. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Apple.
That's because Apple people don't know it. This is too challenging.
I have to think.
What do you mean it's not just telling me what to do?
Oh, there goes all the Apple people. It's alright. We didn't want them anyway. Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, that's cool. But, yeah, I don't know. Now that I saw the games, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just do like a completionist run through. And then I was just like, man, the only other. It's funny is as soon as I saw the Slay, it's like that's the only game I do that with, and I don't know if I want to do Ascension 20.
The time required, I think.
Yeah, yeah, because by the time like, all right, finally I did it. Like now we're like 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Into the month, what am I gonna do? Put a guide for a game that people have already tried, played, and stopped?
Yeah.
Not to mention, this is one of those games too where it doesn't. You can't really, like, sure, you can do a guide on how to get better at this game, right? Because we can all get better, but you can't really do that with somebody who didn't want to get better to begin with, right? It's not really a guide type game. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Like,
I
there's
mean,
certain things, I guess, where you could be like, hey, in the poison build, these are the cards you're looking for, right?
yeah.
But the problem with that is, just like in Storybook Brawl, I can say, hey, if you're doing the animal build, these are the cards you're supposed to be looking for. But there's a problem with that saying. You're animals. Or your shop's telling you to pivot. It's so hard to tell somebody in a guide that, hey, play your shop.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially because that doesn't. Well, an experienced player might know or knows what that means. A new player is like,
What the hell are
it's
you
like
talking about?
fucking. It's
I
like
buy shit from my shop every round.
it's like, do I roll on my shop until I find what I need? Do I just buy the first thing in my shop? Do I pick one at random? It's like,
You just buy the very first thing and then you just
or
commit to
somebody
it.
takes it completely literal and every round sells their entire board and buys everything in the shop.
God. Play your shop.
Okay.
God. But yeah, I mean, so it's difficult, I think, to do a plat guide. Like, this guide does a very good job of kind of, like, pointing out, hey, this is probably the first thing you should do, learn the game, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, I guess a plat guide is still a little different, but as far as Slay the Spire goes, it's been out long enough and it has a big enough audience that regular guides exist.
Yep.
And there's already a big, like, presence, if you will.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
got huge streamers that play it and all that.
Yeah, that, and if, like, you wanted to... There are already deep content and YouTube shit for it. Alright, I'm sure if I went to YouTube... I'm curious. Slay Spire Ascension Guide. Yeah. Oh god, a Maz, no. This is the part in the stream where you take more people that are more successful than I am and just be like, but why? Jorbs, though, I know who that is.
Yep.
And I've got nothing negative to say about him. I don't know too much, though, so, don't tell me.
Oh, all I know about him is he did play some Among Us with the people we watched, and I have seen him play Storybook Brawl a little bit.
Yep. Then he did a defect run, how to crush elites. Like, yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of already kind of... Oh, Jeremiah. He's a jerk. No, he's not really. He's doing the Storybook Brawl thing, but he was in Brittany's lobby and he got DC'd. So he came in like the bot. He had the bot finish the game for him in 5th. And in chat, he goes, I easily would have won that lobby. And it was like so early in the shop, right? Where like you can't say that. He didn't DC like in shop level 6. He DC'd like when they were on like 4. I was like, I felt that, right? I felt confident before, where I'm like, oh, if I got half ball early, I'm doing my shit. Like, I'm gonna win this lobby. And then the first place player is just like, no, you're not. Your half ball's real cute. I have fucking Prism. But yeah, so that's the vibe I got from him. But I don't know him, so I don't want to spread bad shit. But But yeah, even Brittany was like, man, he seems like a pretentious. So yeah, probably. But yeah, it looks like he did Slay the Spire videos, and then he's moved to Storybook Brawl. But yeah. Hey, and then this one, fastest way to level guide. in 40 and 1+ hours. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna become uh Tiny Tina
Tina
Wonderland speedrunners.
speedrunners.
Look that up. Tiny Tina Wonderland speedrunner. Speedrun. 27 minutes.
That's the DLC.
Oh, okay. That doesn't count. Alright, there must not be one yet. Let's go to speedrun.com. That's my favorite. Because even though I don't really find too much enjoyment, I like watching like speedruns every now and then, like for games that I've played.
Yeah, I think the guy I was watching yesterday set the record for Elden Ring All Remembrances. Did it in 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Oh wow. There are no runs. We could be the first.
Well, it may be the fact that a lot of times they don't start recording until a little time after.
Yeah, it's true.
Because they let patches come out and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, no one can fucking play it.
Well, you can play it.
Yeah, I know.
Look at Elden Ring and see if they're even tracking that yet.
"26 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yeah, that's the any. Let's see if they've got his for All Remembrance. Or see if he...
1 hour and 42 minutes.
No, that wasn't him. So yeah, that was yesterday, but that was not him. That's also Carrion Retaliation, which most people believe are going to get nerfed. His isn't even up there, so I guess he didn't submit it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this is self-submission, so if he doesn't...
Yeah.
Some speedrunners don't do speedrun.com, right? So if they do a different site, then...
Maybe. Yeah, he had talked about submitting it, but we'll see.
That, and it also could be submitted and not edited, but I imagine if they have the one from 1 day ago already there, that he did. What's the other big one? You tell I'm not huge enough into the speedrun communities.
I don't remember either.
But there are several other ones.
Yeah, because the one that they were talking about actually had a speed run for all achievements.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy category.
Yeah, because they were talking something about like 16 hours.
Yeah, easy. Mobile games to speedrun? How did I do that? Speedrun websites. Speedrun.com. Speed Souls.
Maybe.
Speed Souls. I like the name of it. Any % all achievements.
Yeah, this must be the one they were talking about then.
Yeah.
Then click and see if he entered it on this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to leaderboard, and then all remembrances.
Yeah.
So then it gives you the rules for it.
Yeah.
Is this the part where you tell me who's on the leaderboard, or is this just like here are the rules? Am I stupid? Don't answer that. Because the answer is yes, but you figure you would like... I mean, there's a lot of cool pages for like, hey, you want to get started and stuff, but
click on the Elden Ring leaderboard.
Oh, yeah, that would make makes sense. You're so smart. I'm so stupid. All remembrances.
Nope, he's not on there either. So
He
yeah,
must.
that's the same.
He must not have submitted.
Yeah, that's the same list that was on the other page.
Yep.
So
I mean, if I'm a speedrunner, right? I'm gonna submit it to everywhere.
yeah.
There are no runs. We could be the first.
You want me to just enter mine?
Enter your 60 hour. You know, you have to record it though.
80 hours.
I think one of the things though is that you have to record it. You can't just be like, yeah, I did this.
What? Was there a time for no wrong warps? I want to see what that is. An hour? Oh, that meant full game. That's not all remembrances. That's just the.
Any percent no wrong warp. I don't even know what that means.
So wrong warp is, you can start a warp. So there are like portals that'll like take you places.
Just randomly too, right?
Oh no, they're set where they take you. But if you reload the game or teleport during the middle of the warp, it will just drop you in like places it's not supposed to. And so they figured out ways that they can wrong warp into the capital before ever earning the great runes you need to get into the capital.
Holy
that
shit.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So almost the any percent and the all remembrances both use wrong warps.
Got it. So this is saying, hey.
Yeah.
Not using that.
Yeah. So like specifically there's one area where you go underground, but you have to complete this huge long quest line to get the underground area to open. And they wrong warp into that area.
Damn.
Without doing the quest line.
Man, and that's the thing that turns me off about speedrunning. Because it's not just I play the game, right, and I'm skillful at it. It's, alright, and I abuse these mechanics that you then have to, like, learn how to abuse.
Yeah, like right now the reason these times are below 2 hours is solely because of horse flying.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there was no horse flying in the game, these times would be up around 2 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes for all remembrances, instead of an hour and 40.
Yeah.
That and carrion retaliation is broken as well. They expect that to get nerfed in the next patch.
So that means they actually take different routes and abuses, and then they, that will go back and change them?
Yep.
That's cool.
Before this, the times were around a little lower than this, even without horse flying, because of the laser beam build, where you could one-shot bosses with it. They patched that. You can no longer do that. And they reset the leaderboards.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Man, imagine that though. You're like, oh, sweet, I'm first on the leaderboard because whatever. And then it's like, all right, well, everything they had to invalidate, even if you didn't use the strategy by miracle, but whatever, right? Well, you're on the old version. Sorry, man. Gotta do it again.
You just had the perfect run.
Yeah. Sucks to be you. Oh, man. Oh, well. So, I got some time to think about what I want to, how I want to approach my content creation days, if I want to just leave it alone and just continue doing what I'm doing. There was something else. We talked about the PlayStation Plus games. We had, obviously, Spartacus. And this seems a weird one to end it on, because it's probably the least exciting out of all of them. Storybook Brawl, has joined FTX. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know what FTX was, so I had
Yeah.
to read more
The
about
only
it.
reason I knew what it was is because they were a big sponsor of the World Series this year.
Oh,
And
were
so,
they?
yeah, and so like I saw their commercials all the time during the
Yeah.
World Series. So that's the only reason I had ever heard of them.
So you know more about them than I did probably initially, and
Well,
apparently they
like say
also
I know
deal
what,
with
yeah, say I know
cryptocurrency.
who they are. That's about all. Cryptocurrency and these NFTs are just two things that I just don't get.
Yes, I am right there with you. I don't know if we are the old people on the lawn or if everyone else is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I kind of understand cryptocurrency. I get the principle behind it, and I get all of
yeah,
this.
but the problem is the value is indeterminate. Is not something that it's not gold. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like there's a finite resource for whatever reason. Everyone goes, "This is how much this is worth," and that can
yeah,
change in 5 seconds.
yeah. And it's not only that. I think I read an article last week, not last week, like 2 weeks ago, that was talking about how last year alone, like 70% of all Bitcoin purchases were fraudulent. It's like,
Yeah, I can see
it's
that.
it's not, and that's the whole thing about cryptocurrency is it's supposed to
Unique
eliminate
ident.
fraudulent purchases. It's
Yes.
like you're literally not doing the one thing you were designed to do.
Yeah, because everything's supposed to have a unique footprint that leads back to the
Yeah.
but it's not even doing anything like that.
Yeah.
So I did so like they did at least say LSV's went out and said, hey, obviously some of you feel like uh, um, aren't in NFTs. We're gonna try to make it not obtrusive, like in terms of like it's not gonna affect how you play the game necessarily. But at the same time, it's like, dog, like I get it, you need the funding and all that other stuff, but I don't know. I feel like you need more marketing than you do. And this didn't market to anybody, right? The only people that knew this were people that were already playing your game.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't now FTX is gonna public like more people are going to see our game. Like that's not going to happen. You didn't get bought by Blizzard.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I just don't. We don't know how much money they got off of this.
True,
If they
they
got a
never disclosed
boatload
that.
of
So
money. Yeah, I mean, they could have come to him with like a blank check and who's gonna turn it down? You know? Uh, I don't know. But yeah, it was a very risky move and one that has been seen as overwhelmingly negative, I think. Because I think when the announcement came across and they posted in the Discord, I looked and there were like something like 600 like emotes attached to it, and like 400 of them were like thumbs downs or whatever. It's like,
yeah, yeah. So me personally, I don't really care. I'll continue playing the game. I won't do whatever the hell blockchain is or anything that. I mean, I won't just do that. I don't care about cosmetics, so I'm not losing anything. The only people this hurts though are the people that do. Like now, if Brittany wants a new skin, she's not gonna get whatever current cryptocurrency or anything buy-in that has to be done with that.
yeah, uh, uh, yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't know what they plan on doing. Um, but who knows? Maybe the money they got from this can help them finally put this on mobile.
Yeah, or something big for that. But like, and I get no news is like or no such thing as bad publicity. But when you're an indie game like this, I would argue that this is the one case where that's not true.
Yeah. Like I
Uh,
said, I think it just all comes down to how much money did they get to do this. Because
I mean, if FTX was willing to be a lead sponsor for the World Series, right? Like that can't be fucking cheap.
yeah,
I don't know how much that means that they went. And I don't know LSV as a person, but I like his content. I like Matt Nass as well. They're really great people, and I don't think that this would be here. But at the same time, I personally I wouldn't also blame them if they go. Doesn't matter what happens now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm pointing at. It's like we got our paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. They're already people that are pretty passionate about what they do, and that so.
Yeah.
But
I think.
still.
Yeah, I think this was. I know as a whole, the gaming community looks at crypto and NFT as negatively.
Yeah.
As a whole, and I think this is a move from FTX to be like, hey, we don't have to be a negative thing. We can support gaming too, but they're gonna have to prove it, I think.
Yes. You have to do something, with it.
So if that is their intent here, and to get in and prove that, hey, we're not, we shouldn't be viewed as negative from the gaming sphere, they are gonna have to, I think, put out some money.
Yeah.
And really push this game, which is going to be its own problem now, considering you're already starting with a negative outlook.
Yep. Yeah, it's an uphill battle. And can I say, I've never really been to thegamer.com, but based off their side articles, I no longer trust this source. Square Enix doesn't think games should be fun anymore. Like this clickbaity, like really bad stuff, and I'm just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. I take gaming articles with a huge grain of salt because
God,
90%
man.
of them are written by people who've never even played the game.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Build a website.
And like, I mean, what do you mean Square Enix doesn't want games to be fun?
Well, this is the most like I guess I shouldn't do this because this is the type of shit that generates traffic that some marketer goes, ah, yes, it's working. But I need to see where they're getting this from. It's a AAA published by this for some during New Year language. It's Yasuke Matsuda. I hope I think about whatever content the future games can seriously fuck this ain't Square. But the corporate version NFTs and metaverse feel different. I also feel like the problem with NFTs, and I'm not a huge NFT fan. I don't understand them and whatever, but like this type of speak feeds the echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone reads this and goes, yes, hate the NFTs.
Yeah.
Like, dude, alright, Storybook Brawl is gonna have whatever force in it. It doesn't change anything. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. So,
For you as a consumer, unless you were buying stuff to begin with, why do you care? It'd be different if they were like, alright, you can't play anymore unless you buy one blockchain or whatever the fuck they're calling their currency. But they're not doing it. It's a free-to-play game. Ignore that part.
Yeah, I know, especially with like crypto, I know a lot of people are complaining about how it's terrible for the environment because of all the energy and stuff it consumes.
I get that.
Yeah, but at the same time, these people that are complaining about it probably aren't complaining for that reason. They're just throwing that reason out. They're complaining because it makes graphic cards expensive.
You know what?
That is literally the reason they're complaining.
Yes, but that is also true.
No, I don't disagree with it. But at least come out
at least
and
own
say
it.
That's why I don't like crypto, is because they make my computer parts expensive.
No, I've said that. I wish I could buy a 3080 right now, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I can't find it.
Yeah, I saw an article earlier this week that was like, uh, graphic card prices are coming down now, only 40% above MSRP, and I'm like, only 40%.
The world that we live in.
Prices coming down means that they're below MSRP. You're stating that graphics cards are coming back toward what they're supposed to be. That's not down.
God. In
Yeah,
full.
I will say I was lucky when I built my computer that I built it right before the whole computer boom because like COVID hit and the crypto market all hit at like the same time, and so computer prices went out the roof. And I built my computer the month before all that happened.
You're like, whoo! Alright, so here's the quote that apparently is getting all the hit for Square Enix. I realize that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations toward these new trends, and understandably so. However, I believe there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean to help make the game more exciting. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people, who are motivated strictly by such inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit. So we read this, and we decided Square Enix doesn't want to have fun. Should be fun anymore. Like, that's not what he's saying.
You gotta completely take that out of context, because
Yes.
for those people, that is fun.
Yes. God.
I mean, literally, I know you've been there and I've been there. Like, literally setting in an MMO and doing nothing but crafting.
Yeah, I am the worst fucking goblin fucking in any MMO I fucking play. I play Lost Ark, and I have over 10,000 gold that I just sit there and fucking hoard.
And it's like, that is not a mechanic that's put into games for fun.
No, it's fun to me.
People find it fun.
Yeah. The reason why I played World of Warcraft for as long as I did was because I enjoyed gold farming. Do you know what the percentage of gold farmers were? Were like maybe 10% of the population, at least when I was doing it. It might be higher now because I don't want to speak with, like, who the fuck makes a game for 10%?
Yeah.
If people marketed a game towards only 10% of their target audience, that would be fucking horrible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about, like, MMOs, and I think
Dude, make a gold farming MMO.
No, you've seen Sword Art Online, right? And
yeah.
Like, in there they have, like, people can become shop owners and stuff like that, like blacksmith and stuff. It's like, if they ever had an MMO that came out where you could set up shops and stuff like that, you would probably find me set up as a blacksmith somewhere.
Yeah, dog. And I would be the miner bringing you the material.
And probably never run a dungeon a day in my life, but it's like I'd be logging on every day just to go sell stuff in a blacksmith shop.
Yeah, I need to buy more materials. I can either go get them myself, or I can play Marco, 20% above.
And then I'm sure there's people that would be listening to this and being like, these people are stupid. Why would you do that?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, that appeals to me.
Yeah.
And I think that Square, and I think it's a good thing that Square realizes that there are people that play games for different reasons. We should do stuff for them. That doesn't mean take away from other games.
Or make it not fun.
Yeah, I don't think anywhere in that they said they were going to take away from that. It's like, we're just going to put some more effort into looking at this part of it.
Yeah. And here's really what it comes down to. And yes, I think cryptocurrencies are stupid. I think a lot of the shit that's going on with NFTs are stupid. But ultimately, I don't care. Like, I just don't. Like, it's going to be in gaming now. Okay. Does it hurt you? Like, and if you are on the side of, like, this is just bad for the environment and we should not give it, then I'm for you. You have my heart. If you're for the, like, if you're I don't want to spend like $80,000 on a fucking graphics card or being able to even find one. Like, I also understand that, and it's okay to hate something for that, but the video game industry is going to do it. So we need to either, the best way you can actually fight something is by ignoring it.
Yeah.
Don't use it.
Or do what I do when I don't like stuff that companies do. Use their free services and charge them, make them spend money.
Yeah, or do that.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the thing. When you boycotted Blizzard and wouldn't play
Yeah,
Overwatch, I was like, I've already paid for it. I'm gonna make them put up the server.
yeah, and that's two different thought process for the same thing, right? Like, I'm not above, you know, boycotting in different ways that speak to you, and if some of that is a bad review, great. If that makes you happy and you feel like you're contributing, just remember that not to attack people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a longer tangent that is obviously kind of niche to us with the Storybook Brawl news, but not even really that relevant because the only thing I haven't played since I've gotten 4,000.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't played in
yeah,
probably a month or more now.
and I gotta be real with you, like I might show up to the tournament and I'll probably have zero time in because I think I'm just done. So unless I day 2 this fucking tournament, I'm probably just not going to or top 8 it. I'm probably not going to play anymore. So it's just, I'm just done with it. You kind of get like that, and that's the thing that makes me scared to dive fully into a game, right? And you're like, oh, all right, I'll make content creation for this game. I'll do a guide. I'll speedrun in this because in what was it, almost a year's time when Storybook Brawl came, that's all I wanted to do. I'm now done.
Yeah.
Right? And there's actually almost something worse, right? You've garnered a fan base in that community who now want to watch you because you're doing X, and then you're like, well, I don't want to do X anymore. So what do? Do you just stop doing X and, screw the people over who, enjoyed watching your content? Or do you force yourself to do something you don't want to do?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it's kind of like, and I kind of get this from watching Dakota's DK.
Yeah.
Because, he got his huge following on Fortnite.
Yep.
And I mean, at one point he was averaging what, like 20 or 30, 40,000 viewers whenever he would be on, and he stopped playing Fortnite, and
Yep.
Obviously that number dipped down to like 3,000 or 4,000.
Yep.
And he was just like, you know what? I don't care. It's like I'm doing what I want to do,
Yep.
and the people that are here are the only ones I really care about anyway.
No, yeah, and that's the healthier attitude to have for like the difference being though is like in the gaming community, 13K to 3K is a lot, sure, like it's a hit, but it's enough, right?
Yeah.
What do you do when you only have 25?
Like sounded too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I get it. That's what, on my opinion, that should be the approach. You should never force yourself to do something because of anybody else, really. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all that to talk. Do you have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Let's pull up my thing right quick and see if there's anything that shows up on it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, it might be missing a lot. We talked about a lot of cool stuff there.
Yep, not seeing anything on here.
PlayStation Plus won't have the pull of Game Pass without day one it releases. Man. I think you're right though. The people are missing that last tier.
Yeah. And the funny thing is like it's never said that they're not doing day one releases, and it specifically said that they're looking to push PlayStation Studios stuff into this. So if PlayStation Studio stuff does come day one, which they nowhere says that it won't, that instantly becomes better than Games Pass. Even if it's just PlayStation Studio stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I'd be interested if Jim Ryan said that our games could suffer. They went straight into PS Plus. The virtuous cycle will be broken. So I guess they have gone out to say that they won't, if this article is to be believed. So it wasn't in that blog, at least.
No. Yeah, I think it'll take time to see.
That, and you can say something one way, right? And then, time will tell, man. Ideas change. But either way, we will wait and see. So there is nothing else you got?
No.
Alright, man. Well, it's been cool. I hope everyone has a good week, and we will catch you next Monday. Bye.
Yeah.